Okay, so we're going to use our DIY kit today, and we are going to make Leone claw to Leone claw from Metal Fight. So it's a pretty standard process. We're not going to be painting the metal this time, so it's going to be pretty easy. So let's go ahead and open this guy up. Put that there, and we'll get our hardware. I need the Allen key out of this set so far. And I'll put this to the side. Alright, so first things first is we're going to unloosen our hardware. It should be already be loose, but we're going to take it apart. And once we take all this stuff off, we're going to take our washers out and not lose those. So we'll set those aside, get our screws there, and we'll smack these out if I can get them out. If not, we will just have to take them out manually. Alright, so we got our hardware. I'm just gonna put that back in this bag I had originally with the everything so I don't lose it, because it would really suck to lose these. Alright, so that's our end hardware. Alright, so we need to take apart our Leone. It's not too hard, so we already have our screws out. So all you have to do is you need to get your fingers and put pressure, pretty even pressure between the two openings. And you're just gonna push straight down. That'll get your Leone removed. Now what we're gonna do is we're making Leone claw, so we don't need to paint the metal. So I am gonna go over how to tie up the metal so it's easier to paint, but we're gonna be painting the plastic this time. So that's that. So let's just go over what you do with this. So we have two more things in our hardware kit. We got our screws with our wire, and then we have a piece of paper with adhesive on it. We'll go over that. Oh my god, I just threw everything. And yeah, so what you're gonna do with your wire, let's just open that up. We're gonna have the wire like that. And since I just threw one of my screws, I'll be using a different screw, but it's the same screws. And you're just gonna put these screws on by hand, like that. And all this does is it gives it feet, right? So when you're painting the metal, if you were to paint the bottom right here, and you didn't have these feet, it would be touching the floor, right? So it'd be like this, it'd be like that. And because of that, you're gonna ruin the paint that you just painted. So these feet allow it to stay off the ground. And that's kind of the idea here. So it's really just to hold it, so when you paint it, that it's not going to be touching the ground, so when it dries and everything, it's okay. Now, what you can do is you can get your wire and you can hang it up. So I just like to hold it like this, the end piece of wire, we're gonna wrap it around here. And then you're just gonna go around each section, like so. And we're just gonna pull through. And we're gonna pull again. Just keep going through until you have a nice centerpiece, like that. It's nice and center. And now we have a hanging utensil. So if I were to make it a hook, you can hang it on something. Or you can do like I do. I just grab it like this, and then I use it to hold it so that it doesn't really fall. So I could spray paint it, or airbrush, or whatever you need to do, like that. So that is that. I don't need to paint it because we're making Leone. So let's go ahead and take that apart. And let me get my metal back. I'm just gonna unscrew these. And now we're ready to put that on later. So we're gonna go put that with our hardware. That's gonna be that. So we're gonna take this. Now you're probably wondering, well, Leone has white in the center, and you can see ours isn't white. It is a gold. So we're gonna have to take it from another Beyblade or paint it. I tend to take it from another Beyblade. So this is a Takara Tomy version, not a Hasbro, and this is Rhino Horn. It comes with a white gear chip, and then there's also a Wizard Arrow, and then you have Dran Dagger. Of course, Dran Dagger is in a stadium set, so that can be a pain. Now you could either buy Dagger from me and Leone to make Leone, or you could just paint this gold one white, which I don't recommend because white sucks. And then, or you can steal it from like a rhino horn. So this is $9.99. This Beyblade, the whole Beyblade, was $9.99 at Beys and Bricks, and I just took it apart. So I drilled it out. See a video in the description about taking these apart, or you can just literally just wreck it in half with a Dremel. It doesn't matter, just so you can get that piece. But $10 to get the color you want is a lot cheaper than buying a Dagger from me. So we're gonna go ahead and keep this piece because I like that. We're gonna take this guy off and put this all aside. Of course, we're getting rid of the gold Leone. Leone's going here just for now, for keepsake, because I may do something later. I don't know. And orientation. Alright, so that'll stay like that until I finish it. Now, gear chips. Now what you could do, you could just get your artwork and then slap it on top of this piece of paper right here, this picture, and then you're good to go. Or you could use this puck right here by removing this, painting what you need to do, and then putting this on top so that you can do your next piece. Now, since we're doing this, I might as well go through it. Normally what you would do is you would get a bit and you would just shove it straight through, usually like a stamina bit. You push it through and it'll just pop that sticker off for you. I don't have that right now on hand, so I'm just going to use the end of my drill bit, get it in there. You're going to push it slowly, it'll pop off like that. And then what you're going to do, one side will always come off, one stays on, I don't know why. And you're just going to slowly peel that to make it as clean as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick that there because why not? Now we're gonna get our puck, the little artwork puck thing, out of our bag. And when you look at it, there's a matte side and there's a glossy side. I probably can't see that, but you can probably say glossy. Now you see the glossy side is more of a waterproofing, but you can take off, honestly, go either side. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off these adhesive strips like so. And let's say you painted this, you can't leave that artwork on. That's what this is for. So you take this off, and it doesn't need to be center, it just needs to be on it, because the artwork you're gonna put on needs to be center. So as long as you have it even enough to where it's gonna be on that landing, you're good. So now this is kind of ready for your artwork. So that's the whole idea. So now you can buy, you can get artwork printed from me, but I will not print my own artwork. So mine says C Customs on it. That's my logo for it. Everything is all set a certain way. This is mine. If you wanted to make your own, you'd have to make your own design, and then you'd have to ask me to print it, or you can get it printed somewhere else, or you can print it yourself. But if you wanted an exact cut, which I do, is I have an exact cut already ready peeled. It's exact fitment. So if I put it on the edge right here, it will fit exactly like that. And there's one closer step to our Leone claw, because technically it is Leone claw right now. All right, so we did that. Let's go ahead and put all that aside. I'm gonna take all this out of here because I'm about to paint. And what we're gonna do is we're just going to paint our plastic. Now what I would normally do is I would get a claw, I guess. This is a claw. You're gonna grab one side. This doesn't matter to be painted, the one section that I'm not going to be painting right here, because your gear chip is going to be covering it. And since I'm painting it all the way through, you're not gonna have to worry about that. So we're going to put that on here, and then I'm going to paint it. I got my paint pre-mixed, thinned, so we are going to use that in airbrush, of course, portable airbrush, of course. because I don't want to be air compressor. So let's go ahead and turn on our filter, and we'll go from there. Of course, I gotta save my paint for later, right? Just pouring it back out. No, that's it. I'll clean that in a minute. So there it is. There is our Leone green that I use. And I'm just gonna double check that I got every single paint detail so I don't have to deal with certain areas. Since I got a little bit of paint here, I am going to touch up some spots I think that could use a little more. So those little cracks and crevices that get a little close, like right here is pretty close, and right there is pretty close. Yeah, so that's all that, and we're gonna let this dry. I would say at least 15 minutes, at least before you do anything else further. At least my paint specifically dries quickly. I don't really, depends on what kind of paint you use, but I use lacquer paint. Gaia Notes. This stuff right here, like this dries real quick. Gaia Notes. You can use Mr. Color. This stuff dries really quick. It's lacquer based. Lacquer usually dries really quickly, and that's why I use it. So, yeah, I would recommend these. Specifically, Gaia Notes is really nice, but it is very hard to work with. Mr. Color is a little easier to work with, but it's not as good as on metal, but it's great on plastic. Yeah, so I will see you after I let this dry, and we'll put the bay back together. We will get the finishing screws, we will lock it down, and we will go. Alright, so it's been about probably 20 minutes, and it's not going to be fully cured, but it'll be like good to the touch. But if I were to get my nail and just scrape right here, it could damage it. You need to wait at least a day. I can touch this now, so I'm going to go ahead and touch it. It's not going to cause any damage, but you shouldn't be putting too much pressure if you didn't wait long. I could wait a day, whatever, but I kind of want to make this video. So yeah. We're going to get our Leone that we made earlier. And you can see there's that spot that I didn't get painted. And it's not a big deal, right? It goes away. We'll go ahead and put that on top. Now, this is the crucial part. Your blade needs to line up on certain Beyblades. Some do, some don't. You can see that there are points that this will have to line up. A lot of times what you can do, you can just line up the prongs with the prongs. So if you line these up, you might get lucky. And you can see that doesn't match, right? So I can rotate it again until it fits. So it doesn't fit there. And there you go, now it fits. So I'm going to gently push down right here to make sure it's fully seated. I don't want to push too hard still. Like I said, it is still curing. But now we're good to go to put our screws in. And because I didn't paint this side and there's nothing curing, I can now just let it cure facing flat down, right? So it makes it easier. Let's get the last bit of our hardware. I'm just going to go ahead and dump them out right here, just for ease. And now what I like to do, you don't have to do it, but I like to use Loctite, or this is a low strength thread locker. And I just use this on the screws so that when you play with it, the screws don't fall out, right? Because when your vibration is going to cause these to come out, so I make sure to lock them down with some kind of thread locker. So we're going to use a little dab on each one, but first let's put our washers back in each hole, like so. And if they don't go in all the way, just knock them in. So this right here isn't down all the way. I will just push it down like that. Now we're good to go. So let's get my first screw on here. You don't have to use the thread locker, but I use thread locker. I'm just going to put a dab, very small amount, doesn't need a lot. And then we'll put your screw in. And I'm just going to screw it down all the way. And then kind of when you get it down all the way, you just spin it until it stops. And there you go, there's your first one. And we just got to do that 2 more times. Thread locker. Make sure that when you put the screw in that it goes in straight. You do not want to put it in crooked. That can cause it to strip or go in cross-threaded and it won't go down all the way, or it could go and lock up and break on you. You don't want to do that. If you put too much Loctite on it, you can get some off of it, but it's not too much of a problem. And our last screw is in. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to let that cure like this, probably for a day, and then it'll go up in my store. But you can make your own if you got the kit and you got the rhino horn or Duran dagger. But yeah, here you go. There is Leone Claw. And this one will go on my store. Pretty much as is. It's already complete. This is kind of where they are at. But yeah, DIY kits in the store. In the description below. You can also get this on the store if it's available. If it's gone, well, that means it's already sold. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Later.